Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. This is Tanush, and today being Sunday, I thought why not make video on transit of Saturn to the sign of Leo. So we are doing the transit Saturn series, right? So let's do it for Leo Ascendant guys, right? Now for Leo Ascendant, Saturn is the lord of 6th and 7th house, and Saturn is right now in your 6th house right from January 2020, and will be staying there till 17th of January 2023, and then it would transit your 7th house into the sign of Aquarius, right? So to speak little about the stay of Saturn in the 6th house, it was quite tough. I mean, 6th house is one of the Upachaya houses where Saturn does extremely well, right? But because it was a sign of Capricorn, again that tinge of Saturn and Capricorn, that flavor was there, and hence there was a lot of fear and anxiety about the future, fear and anxiety about enemies, about debts. And from there, because it was aspecting the 8th house of transformation, sudden events, so there was kind of worry about kind of things which you cannot expect, like sudden events happening, sudden transformation happening. So there was always worry and anxiety about that, right? And it also made you work very hard in your profession as well, right? Now Saturn would be transiting into a 7th house, and 7th house Saturn gets wonderful directional strength, because the 7th house in natural Kalchakra Kundali is the sign of Libra or Tula Rashi, where Saturn or Shani gets exalted or gets in the most powerful position, right? So because Saturn likes balancing out things, and Tula Rashi or Libra is all about balancing of relationship, and hence Saturn feels quite comfortable there, right? So directional strength is excellent. Now 7th house represents Aquarius, so I'll talk about that in a bit. But 7th house represents house of marriage, house of business partnership, business proposals, house of travel too. It is Bhavat Bhavam of your 10th house, so it also indicates your profession, gains from the profession. So many things. Now for Leo Ascendant guys who are planning to get married, or were planning to get married for quite some time, then I would say this would be the most ideal time, the best time to get married. Now for Cancer Ascendant and Leo Ascendant, Saturn being the lord of 7th house, what happens if either Saturn aspects your 2nd house or is in the 7th house? It generally delays a marriage, right? And if a person gets married early, then that marriage will not last long. But when the lord of the 7th house, Saturn, comes into its own house, that is considered the perfect time for marriage, right? So provided your Mahadasha and Antardasha, they support, but otherwise it's considered to be the best time of marriage. And please work in that direction, because I know few Leo Ascendant guys who have been struggling from past 2 years to get married, right? So this is the time where you'll find your aspirational partner, or your soulmate, whatever you call, right? The sign of Aquarius represents masses. It represents society. It represents scientific thinking, scientific invention, right? And when Saturn comes into the sign of Aquarius, which is its Mool Trikon Rashi, so when Saturn comes, Shani comes into Kumbha Rashi, which is considered its own Mool Trikon Rashi, it's much more relaxed, much more matured, we can say. And that anxiety and worry part which it gave when it was in the sign of Cancer now goes away. Now the feeling a person gets is that I can I can get hold of the situation, I can manage things, because the person has gone through the phase of fear, anxiety, and has worked in that direction. Now things are much more under control, and the person thinks that I know this, I can manage, I've seen this situation earlier, now I can manage this kind of situations very easily, it's in my control, right? So that is the feeling one gets, and hence this transit is considered to be a good one. Now because 7th house also represents business partnership, so those who are into business can expect signing off of new business ventures, working with masses on huge projects, doing something for the society, contributing something for the society. And it also represents scientific invention. So those of you who are in scientific field, which may be even research or inventing new things, this is going to be a wonderful transit for you. It will support you in your work, right? Now from the 7th house, it aspects your 9th house. So whenever 7th and 9th house are linked, generally it gives an indication of travel. So if you are planning for travel, then travel is on the cards. You can surely work in the direction, right? Now again, because Saturn or Shani is in the sign of Aquarius or Kumbha Rashi, you might travel for some social event. You might get involved in some cultural event or something to do with good for society. And if you are in political field, then this transit is going to be a wonderful one. It will help you to connect with the masses, connect with them, establish that rapport, and it's going to be really a very good one. Now it also aspects your ascendant. So during this time, what happens, when Saturn or Shani in the sign of Aquarius or Kumbha Rashi aspects the sign of Leo, so it makes that person work extremely hard with lot of determination, and the person will work towards improving his or her personality, his or her thought process, and they'll go to that next level of their ambition, right? So it's not bad. So don't think that Saturn is aspecting the sign of Leo. Both of them are kind of enemies. So if it was a sign of Capricorn or Makar Rashi, then surely we should have been concerned about that. It's sign of Aquarius, so things are quite different. Now from there, Saturn also aspects your 4th house, and if you are running a Saturn Mahadasha on top of this, then Saturn is going to do amazing things for you, right? So whenever Saturn aspects the 4th house and also the 9th house, some people say it indicates a change of residence, and that may be for probably for good, right? So those of you who are planning to buy their own house, because Saturn aspects now the 4th house, and if the dasha is positive and all other things are in place, then surely you can purchase a property. So Jupiter is in your 8th house right now. From 8th house, it is aspecting your 2nd house and 4th house. So 4th house now from January 17th to 15th of April will receive two very powerful aspects. One from Jupiter in its own house, Jupiter or Guru from its own house of Pisces or Meena Rashi, and Saturn from its own house of Aquarius or Kumbha Rashi, right? So both positive aspects your 4th house is going to get, and this represents surely it represents purchasing of property or change of residence, or you might travel to a foreign land, or you might have traveled to a foreign land and you might purchase a home in the foreign land or a faraway place. Like nowadays people go for places away from their home just for picnic or something like that, right? Something like farmhouse and everything. So if that is your plan, then this is the time where you can actually implement your plan, right? So I would say it's a wonderful transit, Leo Ascendant or Simha Lagna guys. You can surely use this. It's going to do tremendous good for you, and especially I'll again mention people who are not married. You can consider actually getting married during this period, because Saturn, the lord of 7th house, is in the 7th house, and Jupiter is in the 8th house, aspecting the 2nd house, which represents addition to the family, right? So guys, these were my thoughts on the transit of Saturn or Shani to the sign of Aquarius or Kumbha Rashi on 17th of Jan 2023. So if you like my video, you can subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, I'll anyway be back with another interesting video. Thank you so much, guys.